Radyo Publiko. Serbisyo.
Bayang Mahal
News Nationwide.
Balitang pambansa.
Sa ulo ng ating
Pinakamalawak na pagbabalita.
ang radyo ng Pilipinas.
Radyo Pilipinas.
Balitang mahalaga sa bawat mamamayan. Ang radyo ng publiko.
Radyo Publiko. Nag-uugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan.
Ay inyo ring mapapakinggan sa 104.3 FM band.
magkaisa, magtulungan para sa pag-unlad ng ating bansa.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko sa 104.3 The Capital. Ang ating mga programa at serbisyo para sa mamamayang Pilipino. Ibabahagi natin mula alas 6 ng umaga hanggang alas 12:30 ng tanghali. Monday to Friday sa 104.3 FM band. Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko and The Capital.
Ang boses ng Pangulo.
Sabay na maghahatid ng serbisyo sa mamamayang Pilipino in the new era of collaboration.
Balita mula sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa.
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko sa 104.3 The Capital.
Paano nga ba mag-register para magkaroon ng schedule sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center? Narito ang mga dapat gawin. Gamit ang iyong mobile device, pumunta sa eGov.ph app. Pwede itong i-download mula sa Apple App Store o sa Google Play Store. Gumawa ng account. Ilagay ang email address, valid mobile number, pagkatapos ay makakatanggap ka ng one-time code sa iyong email. Gamitin ang code sa eGov app para sa verification ng iyong account at ng mga impormasyong ibinigay. Congratulations! Meron ka ng eGov.ph app account. Pwede mo na ma-access ang iba't ibang serbisyo ng gobyerno kabilang ang mga serbisyo sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center.
Ito ang Presidential Broadcast Service.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko.
Ng Bagong Pilipinas para sa Bagong Pilipino. Naghahatid ng mahahalagang balita at impormasyon. Nag-uugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan. Tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko. Ang boses ng Pangulo. Sa Mega Manila, 738.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko.
Nas 5 minuto makalipas ang alas 3 ng hapon. Isang magandang hapon sa inyong lahat at magandang hapon Pilipinas at welcome po tayo sa ating programang Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross dito po sa Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko ngayong ikalabing-4 ng buwan ng Disyembre taong 2025, ikalawang linggo na po tayo at sabi nga po nila 11 days to go before Christmas at ito na, start na tayo kahapon ng 12 days of Christmas at bukas mag-start na ang simbang gabi bukas yan kaya talaga nga naman papalapit na at papalapit na rin ang pagtatapos ng taong 2025. Okay? At inaanyayahan namin kayo hanggang alas 4 po tayo ng hapon at syempre nais nating pasalamatan ang lahat ng bumubuo ng ating programa mula sa ating Presidential Communication Office, Secretary Dave Gomez, ang ating Presidential Broadcasting Service Director Fernando Sanga, si Sir Dindo Amparaw, ang ating Station Manager Sir Alan Alyanige at kasama yan ng ating si Sir Ray Sampang at sa technical side natin Sir Oli Lopez at si Ma'am Joy Timidan, kasama yan ni Ma'am Tess at dito syempre sa Philippine Red Cross ang ating Chairman and CEO Richard J. Gordon, kasama yan ng ating Secretary General Dr. Gwen Pang at ng iba pang Board of Governors at ang ating mga chapters natin sa mahigit chapters, 100 chapters nationwide. At kasama yan ang kanilang mga Board of Directors at ng kanilang Red Cross 143 at Red Cross Youth. Tayo ay napapakinggan 738 kHz at tayo ay napapanood live sa Facebook page ng Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko Facebook page. Mag-like and share, comment tayo at napapakinggan din na napapanood sa Kalinga Hatid Facebook page, sa YouTube page na YouTube live streaming din. At tayo rin ay napapanood sa Affordabox at Digibox channel 43 to 45. Tama? Okay. At syempre makakasama natin via Zoom ang ating laging kasama dito sa ating programa. Linggo-linggo po yan. Walang iba, Governor Corazon Alma de Leon. Magandang hapon po, ma'am. Nakamute kayo, ma'am. Good afternoon. Hindi niya ako narinig. Gob? Gob Cora?
Yes. Marinig na ba ako?
Yes po, narinig ko po kayo.
Okay bang audio? Kasi kayo mahina eh. Pero tatrayin ko, no? Ngayon, ang topic natin ay 2025 IHL Moot Court Competition. Ang guest natin, nandito na yung mooters ng University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City, starting with Catherine Rene Cutler, First Counsel. Andiyan na siya, naka-pink. Si Micaela Andrea Geriva, Second Counsel. Micaela, she's in white. And then of course, RV Joyce Kayabyab, alternate researcher. I don't know if Dr. Lee Edson P. Yarsha will also be here or he's not yet here.
Magjo-join
No,
po
he's
siya.
not here.
Apo.
But anyway, diretso na tayo, no? Sa interview, Edison.
Yes po. Dire-diretso na po
Okay.
tayo, Gob.
Ang unang tanong, pang ilang beses nyo na sumali sa ganitong klaseng competition? Let's start kasi sunod-sunod kayo. Let's start with Catherine, then Micaela, and then RV.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Welcome
Catherine.
po sa Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross sa Radyo Pilipinas. Ma'am Catherine Rene Cutler.
Ako po, pang-unang beses pa lang with other schools. Pero pangalawang beses na po if counting yung competition sa loob po ng UP Law.
Okay. Gob. Si ano?
Micaela,
Micaela Andrea Geriva.
Yes
Second
po.
counsel,
Good afternoon.
have you
First,
participated in a moot court competition already?
same with Catherine. When it comes to other schools po, this is my first time. Pero second ko na po, counting po yung first year. Magka-teammates po kami nun.
And of course, RV Joyce Kayabyab.
Magandang hapon po. Same po with Catherine and Micaela. It's my second time po. But first, if counting with other schools po.
Okay. I have some important questions para our audience can appreciate your replies, no? Nahirapan ba kayo sa mga naging katanungan o mga situational questions na ibinigay sa inyo this time? O maning-mani lang sa inyo?
Hindi naman po. Mahirap po talaga pag sa moot court kasi kailangan ng maraming research. Kahit na simpleng tanong, kala mo madali lang, pero pag nag-research na, ang rami palang kailangan or raming wala pala sa batas na iba't ibang sources yung kailangan. So, doon po kami nahirapan siguro.
Micaela, your comments?
Same rin po. Pero meron din po kasing kailangan matutunan, which is kapag nag-research ka, kailangan masabi mo siya rin na hindi komplikado. So, hindi naman lahat makakausap mo mga hasa na sa IHL. So, kailangan marunong ka rin gumamit ng terminolohiya na hindi sila mahihirapang intindihin.
RV?
Nahirapan din po ako. Lalo na at silang dalawa third year, so meron na silang subject sa international law. Ako po second year pa lang. So parang meron pa akong learning curve kumbaga. So parang mas nahirapan din ako sa ganoong paraan.
Pero ano-ano ang mga naging karanasan nyo sa pagsali sa moot court? Kasi you mentioned sa moot court competition, second year nyo na, di ba? Am I correct?
Second time
Go
po
ahead,
sumali.
Catherine.
So nung first year po ako nung law school, sumali po ako ng competition within UP Law lang po. Tapos ito po yung first time na nakapasok ako sa competition na with other schools naman po. So medyo bagong experience din siya for me na ganitong level ng competition, especially hindi ko naman nakakalaban yung other schools before. I didn't know how moot court competitions would be like.
Siguro the next question sa iyo pa rin and to others, ano-ano ang mga natutunan niyo sa pagsali sa moot court competition?
Marami po talaga natututunan sa moot court, especially since may memorial side at may oral arguments po. So for me, it was a lot of research skills na natutunan ko, pati writing skills po. Kasi kailangan malay down mo yung arguments mo in a way na madali intindihin. And also, for the oral arguments po, siguro natutunan ko paano maging direct na makipag-usap, pati paano maging responsive sa mga judges na nakatulong sa amin sa oral arguments.
Mikaela and RV, ano naman ang naging dahilan bakit abogasya ang inyong kurso na kinuha? Medyo rooted ang question na to ng background ninyo. Baka mga parents ninyo abogado o mga nagturo sa inyo na mag-abogado kayo. Si Mikaela muna. Why did you take up law?
Actually, ako po yung una sa pamilya ko na nag-pursue ng law. We are a family of teachers. Ang background ko po is development studies. I wanted to pursue law kasi mas concrete siya, in my opinion. Mas may magagawa ka on the policy side. Mas makakatulong ka sa legislative kung baga kung gano'n.
RV, why did you take up law?
Ako naman po, my background is communication. But previously, I had a job in the government. So I realized na how law is important in society. So yung sa akin naman more on development yung sa government agency, yung background ng government agency na pinagtrabahuan ko. So dun ko nakita kung gaano ka-importante yung law sa society. So because of that, I decided na to take up law.
Yeah. Babalikan ko kayo, no? Kasi I feel we need to know your background. Sinong parents nyo to acknowledge at saka where'd you go for your high school, yung schools that you were enrolled in. Let's go back to Catherine, Rene. Where did you go to school that prepared you to go to UP?
Nung high school ko po, I'm originally from Davao. So in junior high school, I was in St. Paul College of Davao. Senior high school, I went to Ateneo College in Davao. And then in college talaga, I went to UP Diliman na po, where I majored in political science.
And Mikaela?
Galing po akong Muntinlupa. So my high school was in Southville, and then po nag-college na po ako sa UP Manila naman po, and then dito po sa UP.
And then RV, why
Yes
did you
po.
take up law?
Opo. My background naman po is I'm originally from Pangasinan. And I was in VMU Special Science High School. So it's a special science high school in high school. And then I took up my bachelor's degree sa UP Baguio naman po in the north.
Iba-ibang lugar, ano? But I guess opportunity ninyo by bringing you to the moot court competition ay to hone your skills in appearing in the courts, no? And then of course reasoning, kasi ako ang favorite ko in practice, nanonood ako sa TV, parang nakaka-relate ako sa mga nagdi-defend ng mga criminals, no? Na para hindi magkaroon ng kaso. Pero personally, ano sa feeling nyo ang future ninyo? What kind of future do you want to see for yourselves in the field of law? Balik tayo kay Catherine.
Ako po, personally, I think in my first few years, I'd like to try out firms so that I get more experience. So the corporate world maybe. And then in the future, possibly something more towards policy na po. Because I was already geared towards that nung undergrad ko pa lang po in political science. Something policy po related to.
RV?
Ako po, my original plan was to actually go back to the government and practice my legal skills there. But given that we joined here dito na sa Red Cross, so naisip ko na maganda ding what if mag-work din ako sa Red Cross or international law. Maganda din siyang career pathway. So iniisip ko din yun. So aside from government po, parang iniisip ko na maganda ding mag-practice ng international humanitarian law.
Wow. What about Michaela? What is, why did, of course, I'll go back and ask bakit you studied law and anong gustong makita sa future mo? Gusto bang maging senador katulad ni Miriam Defensor Santiago or others? Meron ka bang model na gusto nyong i-emulate, Michaela?
Yung future ko po kasi na nakikita is really owed to my undergraduate, which is development studies. So it's a very niche course kasi hindi lahat naman or it's very pointed towards the masses. So and in the future, I do want to pursue research and policy. So medyo tagong side po ng law. So yun po, gusto ko po makita kung paano po ma-improve yung mga batas, kung ano po yung mga kailangan na maresolbahan po gamit yung batas.
Kasi ang gaganda ninyo. Baka hindi kayo makatapos ng law, makapag-asawa na kayo. Joke only, ha? Baka magalit yung school, sabihin pinapakailaman ko pa. Pero siguro, you talk more about the moot court. What really, so you can invite people watching our program, why the moot court is a very important activity of the international humanitarian law, which is of course organized by ICRC sa Philippine Red Cross. Can you explain anong history ng moot court competition and how did you find it when you actually participated? We'll go back to Catherine.
So sa amin po, especially for UP Law, UP Law has already had a history competing in IHL po. So ilang years na po nagko-compete ang UP Law. And this year, bumalik na yung UP Law since we didn't compete last year. But for others, I think it's a really good experience na sumali sa IHL, which is organized by the ICRC, kasi iba siyang experience sa law school eh. They'll get a different vantage point on how to argue and makakadiscuss ka ng mga bagay na hindi naman pinag-uusapan masyado sa law school, katulad ng mga armed conflict na sobrang relevant ngayon kasi nangyayari nga sa iba't ibang lugar. It's also nice kasi rare naman makakuha ng opportunity na mag-argue sa Supreme Court in front of justices. So it's a really good opportunity and experience for law students.
Michaela?
Yes po. For this experience, it's actually good. Kasi pag sa law school, syempre, mag-memorize ka, babasa ka ng kaso. Dito kasi sa moot court, you're more active, mas practical ka. You're arguing for a certain side. So, kailangan nakikita mo lahat ng angles. Kailangan yung research mo, mako-convey mo properly. So, I think that's really one of the good things or the good experiences na for me, unique lang sa moot court mo lang siya may experience.
And of course, RV?
Sa akin naman po, isa po sa mga bagay na natutunan ko talaga sa moot court is isa siyang training ground din para sa mga future lawyers. Bukod nga sa argumentation skills and sa research skills, networking opportunity din siya kasi it's an opportunity for you to meet other people outside your law school. So, it is a really good training ground, and especially po, yung topics is very relevant to the society, katulad ng sinabi ni Catherine. So, yung armed conflicts, for instance, na nangyayari talaga siya sa mundo. So, hindi siya something concrete, hindi siya something abstract, but something that is concrete and happening in real world. So, yung opportunity na magamit mo yung abilidad mo for that is a very good experience po.
Oh. So let's now focus on the actual activity that you had experienced ninyo talaga sa moot court. What really happened? How did you prepare? And how did you, kasi top-notcher kayo, no? How did you work as a team? Because sa ganitong klaseng debate, kailangan teamwork eh. Maybe let's begin with Catherine. How did you work yourself out? Work yourself so that you can win, because you did win. Go ahead, Catherine.
Okay po, so like I said a while ago, usually moot courts po, they're divided into two. So yung memorial round po, pati yung oral round. For the memorial round, which is a paper, yung pag-prepare po namin, maraming research. Doon talaga madugo yung research na palagi kaming magkasama nagtatanong anong case ba yung pwede for this question or anong facts yung kailangan. So magkasama talaga kami working on that paper. May time pa na magkasama kami for 3 days in one house just working on that paper para maayos namin. And for the oral rounds po, I think there's no better method than to just practice. So paulit-ulit namin sinasabi yung speech namin, we get questions from other people. Kasi yun naman talaga yung kailangan for the oral rounds na marunong ka sumagot ng mga tanong, pati na-anticipate mo ano ba yung mga relevant na bagay sa case na to.
Mhm. Balik ulit tayo kay Mikaela. Um,
Yes po.
how did you find the moot court competition this time, no? Because you had it also last time, but this time you topped it. The UP Diliman Quezon City topped it. So you must have done something good, di ba? Mikaela, hindi
Yes.
kayo nervyos, relax na relax kayo, at saka alam nyo yung sasabihin ninyo. Go ahead, Mikaela.
Yes po. Like what Catherine said, yung ganong level of performance is not easy. It's not overnight. You really have to do the work and the practice. So, kailangan may research ka. Yung kailangan mo sabihin yung kailangan mo sabihin. Pati masabi mo rin siya ng maayos yung hindi ka natataranta pag tinatanong ka. And that took us a lot of research and a lot of practice. Sabay pa to sa actual classes namin in law school. So tuwing gabi, magsistay pa kami sa school para lang mag-practice ng speeches, magtatanong kami ng mga kaklase kung pwede ba nilang marinig. Tapos kung hindi nila intindihan, tinitake note namin para alam din namin saan kami malabo. So yung ganong level of performance really was really research and practice for all of us. So, yun po.
RV, I'm sure your parents were so proud when you were doing the moot court competition, because if I was a parent, I'll be so proud of you na until you got the award, no? Pero siguro we should be able to invite um, the other law schools. Of course, many. How many really participated? Quite a number of schools, diba?
Yes
You
po.
remember how many?
During this year, I think we had 10 schools po who participated in this
Yes.
competition.
But every year, UP, I think, joins because ayaw maiwan ng UP. Kasi gusto nila palagi silang bida. Pero maybe you can also invite yung hindi sumali na anyayahan sila na lumahok sa susunod na moot court competition ng Philippine Red Cross. We're associated with the moot court dahil ang feeling namin being part of the ICRC, we need to engage the various schools so that they would be able to know how to handle the competition. Go back, Catherine.
Yes po. So,
I think the idea is how to encourage the other schools na susunod na moot court competition ng Philippine Red Cross mag-join kasi hindi lahat ng schools, maraming schools pero hindi lahat nag-join. Am I correct, Catherine?
yes po. So for moot courts, I'd really like to invite other schools to join kasi it's such a different opportunity and it's a learning opportunity for law students especially na kahit hindi ka manalo sa isang round, marami ka pa rin natututunan sa moot court. So I think it's important that people join moot courts and especially IHL kasi nga we're talking about relevant topics that would be helpful for law students who also want to practice in the real world and talk about policy.
Mikaela, how about you? Do you think you can encourage
I really would
other
want to
schools to
encourage.
participate based on your experience?
Yes, of course. Ano siya, parang well-rounded ka dapat. So, hindi ka lang magaling magsulat, kailangan magaling ka rin magsalita. May role-play challenge pa, so kailangan magaling ka rin on the practical side. So, talagang yung experience na to, super enjoy naman namin as a team kasi lahat ng strengths namin Hindi naman kami pare-parehas lahat magaling magsulat, lahat magaling magsalita. So, kanya-kanya kami ng strength na maibibigay. Kaya, it's teamwork, but also, for you personally, marami kang skills na makukuha na hindi mo siya makukuha just in being in law school. So, mga extracurricular activities like these would really be helpful for a law student.
Gov Cora.
Kasi kailangan talaga teamwork sa debate na ito. One point of view supported by the next person's point of view, maganda. So this time
Gov
naman,
Cora.
RV, ano naman ang magiging sunod na hakbang ninyo matapos ninyong magwagi sa competition? Siyempre, popular kayo. Ako nga, excited ako na to meet you because para sa akin, I can see a future. Parang future na makita ko kayo appearing in court pag of course you still have to pass your bar exams. Nakaka-nervous yun kasi will I pass? Will I flunk? Pero sa UP palaging theory of rising expectations. Ina-expect na sa UP palaging papasa, magtatap, but apparently in the more recent years hindi naman talaga gano'n nangyayari kasi pagalingan na rin ng mga eskwela.
Gov Cora.
So, now that you have won, ano naman ang magiging sunod na hakbang ninyo matapos kayong magwagi? Kumbaga, it's an honor, of course, for the university to have gotten the prize, no? And I'm sure the coach, Dr. Lee Edson P. Yarcia, ang coach nyo ba taga-UP din?
Gov Cora.
Yes po, taga-UP din.
Gov.
Kaya siguro hindi na siya nag-appear dahil ang feeling niya, sasagutin na ninyo lahat ng mga tanong, no? Pero,
Gov Cora.
I guess the last question is a little,
Gov Cora. Pwede
difficult. Nais nyo bang mag-volunteer sa Philippine Red Cross?
Gov.
Parang challenge sa inyo.
Gov, pwede bang tayo mag-commercial break lang po muna tayo, Gov Cora?
Sige. Para isipin nila, sagot nila.
Yung
Yes
last two
Tapos
questions nyo.
In what area they want to work with. Sige, go ahead, Edison.
Yung magbabalik po tayo yung last two questions ni Gov Cora pa sagot natin mamaya. At pero bago yun, meron tayong isang promotional about sa Safeguard at tayo magbabalik sa ilang mga paalala.
Ramdam natin ibang simoy ng hangin. Ito ay tanda na mayroong darating. Pagsilang ng sanggol doon sa Bethlehem, siya ang nagligtas ng kasalanan natin. O bakit pa nalimutan na natin ang siyang tunay na diwa ng Pasko? Mag-alay sa ating kapwa, lalo't di pinagpala. Tayo ay magmahal nang walang kapalit. Ang tunay na Pasko ay tayo. Ano man ang ginagawa natin, ang Pasko ay pagmamahalan, pagbibigay, kapatawaran. Ang Pasko ay ikaw at ako, iba-iba man ay isa tayo. Bagong Pilipinas, bagong Pilipino, yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko. Sana'y maghilom na mga sugat natin, kahit iba-iba paniniwala natin. Kaya Pasko, magkasundo tayo, pareho lang naman, maganda ang hangarin. Ang tunay na Pasko ay tayo, ano man ang ginagawa natin. Ang Pasko ay pagmamahalan, pagbibigan.
This is the celebration of the birth of Jesus, and to once again dedicate ourselves and our lives to that service.
Iba-iba man ay isa tayo, bagong Pilipinas, bagong Pilipino. Yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko. Ang tunay na Pasko ay tayo, ano man ang ginagawa natin. Ang Pasko ay pagmamahalan, pagbibigay, kapatawaran. Ang Pasko ay ikaw at ako, iba-iba man ay iisa tayo. Bagong Pilipinas, bagong Pilipino, yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko. Yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko.
Pilipinas, handa ka na ba? Ang ating ₱1,000,000 question. Kapag may pumutok na bulkan malapit sa inyong lugar at sinabayan pa ng malakas na ulan, ano ang kailangan mong iwasan? Letter A, ex mong hindi ka naman pinahalagahan? Letter B, mga marites ng inyong barangay? O letter C, mga ilog at sapa dahil pwedeng magkaroon ng lahar? Kung C ang sagot mo, may tama ka. Delikado ang lahar o ang mabilis na daloy ng naghahalong abo ng bulkan at tubig. O, ngayon, alam mo na kung saan ka dapat lumayo. O sige na, lapit ka na kay ex. Hehe, hashtag panatag ang may alam.
Maging panatag Pilipinas.
Mahigit 11,000 Pilipino ang namamatay dahil sa mga aksidente sa daan. Ayon sa Philippine Statistics Authority, ang mga aksidente sa sasakyan ay umakyat sa ika-11 pangunahing dahilan ng pagkamatay ng mga Pilipino noong nakaraang taon, mula sa ika-15. Sa araw-araw mong pagsabak sa kalsada, protektado ka ba? Get the Philippine Red Cross Safeguard now. For 1,200 peso contribution a year, you are assured with the following: ambulance services, 1 bag of blood, hospital and medical reimbursement.
The Safeguard membership is one of the PRC's key fundraising initiatives. With an annual contribution of 1,200 pesos, members support PRC's mission to assist more communities in times of need. The program is open to individuals aged 3 to 85 years old. Each membership is valid for 1 year. The insurance benefits extend to incidents involving common sicknesses, dengue fever, animal bites, natural disasters such as typhoons, earthquakes, travel, whether public or private transports, and accidents occurring while riding or operating a vehicle. Some scenarios are not covered, including intentional self-harm or suicide, criminal activity, war-related events, pregnancy and childbirth-related complications, high-risk occupations, if the accident occurs while on duty, and failure to follow LTO regulations. There are two ways to become a Safeguard member. First is through on-site registration. Visit any of our PRC chapters nationwide. Second is through online registration. Just sign up through PRC's official website. If an accident occurs, notify the PRC via SMS 0917-844-6025 or email maadclaims@redcross.org.ph within 30 days. Submit the required documents to the nearest PRC chapter within 60 days of the accident for outpatient cases or discharge for inpatient care. For help, contact PRC via email maabclaims@redcross.org.ph or contact 790-2300 local 184 or 0917-844-6025. Safeguard members are prioritized for emergency services such as ambulance transport, blood requests related to accidents. Call PRC Hotline 143 or 1158 for assistance. Safeguard membership goes beyond financial coverage. It's about the stories of real people whose lives were changed because help arrived when it was most needed. Here are some testimonials from those we have assisted.
He was so sleepy while going to the bathroom. He fell down and he hit his head. So it was bleeding and I had to call 143 for the ambulance. And the ambulance came in 10 minutes. Unlike the which we got last year that arrived 40 minutes after. Thank you very much, Chairman Gordon. We really appreciate what you're doing for the people. Be a member now to avail of the services of Philippine Red Cross.
Gabi po kasi yun, nagpatid sa akin yung yung kapatid ko. Pagbalik namin, yun yung nangyari. Doon kami na-disgrasya. Ako po yung nag-drive tapos angkas nyo siya. Yung motor po nag-slide tapos siya yung bumangga sa pader. Nakuha po namin yung burial tapos yung buong 300. Na-receive ko po namin 305,000 lahat. Ang mensahe ko lang po dun sa mga hindi pa member ng Philippine Red Cross, in-encourage ko po yung mga tao na employee tulad ng kapatid ko na sumali dito kasi natanggap po namin buo, totoo po, legit lahat. Yung pera pong nakuha namin, sir, linagay po namin sa bangko kasi may anak yung kapatid namin para in the future po makapag-aral yung bata.
In 2026, we have a fundraising goal of 8.8 billion pesos. To achieve this, we need to intensify our Red Cross 143 volunteers recruitment. Each chapter must have 44 volunteers, and every chapter volunteer will recruit 44 volunteers per barangay. Currently, we have 42,011 barangays nationwide, and we expect that these 44 volunteers will register one Safeguard member per quarter, with a total number of 7,393,936 Safeguard members with a gross amount of 8,872,723,200 pesos. Joining the program not only protects you, it empowers the Philippine Red Cross to help more people in need. Take action today. Be prepared. Be protected. Be a partner in saving lives. Help us help you more.
Gov Cora, yan ay hatid po ng Communication Department at Fund Generation Department ng Philippine Red Cross ang tungkol sa Safeguard.
Kanina, bago tayo nag station break, tinanong ko, nais ninyo bang mag-volunteer sa Philippine Red Cross? Pero naisip ko before that, I'd like to trace your roots. Kasi baka dapat mag-volunteer kayo where you came from o kaya after graduation, where you will be practicing. So in a sense, I want to know where you from and then And then the question also, nais niyo bang mag-volunteer sa Philippine Red Cross? Kasi we want to trace your roots, no? So let's begin with Catherine.
Ako po, I was raised in Davao City. Tapos I moved to Quezon City for college po. But my family lives in Pampanga. For volunteering in Red Cross po, I really see myself volunteering in the future kasi especially na yon na maraming bagyo, maraming earthquake, ang laki talaga ng pangangailangan na maraming volunteer for Red Cross at sa pag-volunteer, doon talaga makikita na may direktang role yung tao sa pagtulong sa kapwa Pilipino, kung sa mga times na kailangan talaga.
Micaela. Mali yata pronunciation ko. Go ahead.
Galing po ako sa Muntinlupa, pero my family is from Bicol. So, I do see myself also volunteering for Red Cross. It's important na pag mga important for natural calamities, mga ganun po, na yung livelihood, the local communities are equipped, they're trained, especially with the resources that they currently have. So I do want to be able to contribute to that by volunteering in Red Cross.
Si RV Joyce Kayabyab, where you
Ako
from?
naman po,
Baka kamag-anak mo si Ryan Kayabyab.
hindi po.
Hindi.
Actually, lagi po
Okay.
ako natatanong dyan. Pero hindi po. But ako po, I'm originally from Pangasinan, but I moved
Okay.
here sa Manila for work and then for a postgraduate degree, which is law right now. But in terms of volunteering with Red Cross, yes po, I would like to volunteer, but in terms of training and education naman po, kasi I just remembered when I was in high school, we had this sort of a program conducted by some Red Cross volunteers. Tapos they really taught us the basic emergency disaster preparedness, mga ganun po. So I was inspired by that. And so I would like to give back by also being a volunteer in training and education activities po.
Wonderful, wonderful. So finally, before our program ends, I'd like to ask you, would you encourage other students to join the moot court competition and why? Catherine, again, starting with you.
Yes, but I'd really like to encourage other students to join IHL next year and for the following years kasi it's a good opportunity to learn and grow as a law student because you will be exposed to things that you will not usually do in law school and you'll get exposed to other people from law school then you would not have that opportunity otherwise if you didn't
Yeah.
join. So I think it's really a nice experience to join.
Micaela, your turn.
Yes, same po. I really do encourage other law students to join, particularly IHL Moot Court. It's actually a good way for them to understand na kunyari pag may armed conflict, ano ba yung rights, ano yung pwedeng gawin, ano yung hindi pwede gawin. So it's really important at this time, as stated by Kath, na relevant siya right now. So also on the side of pag sumali ka, marami kang skills na makukuha sa pagsusulat, sa pagsasalita, sa more on the practical side, dealing with other people, kasi iba-ibang tao makakasalamuha mo. So doon makahumble ka sa iyong mga kausap and also within yourself, mag-grow ka talaga in that experience.
And of course, RV.
Yes po. So inaanyayahan din po namin ng mga katulad naming law students to actually participate in moot court competitions, especially in IHL. Aside from what's mentioned by Catherine and Micaela, this is a good opportunity to create good memories po. Of course, when you're practicing as a lawyer, you can go back and say, you've joined this moot court competition. And it's also a chance to hone your skills as law student, which you can carry on during your practice.
Actually, pwede din kayong artista. Katulad ni yung naging judge, Tera Pabon. Nag-aral yun ng abogasya at naging judge. Pero in final natin, I want to announce the blood inventory natin as of December 13, 2025. We're doing this now as a special feature of our radio program para alam ng mga tao na ang naging patient served natin 275,581, units served 563,000, total platelets 839, total apheresis 8. So anong klaseng dugo? A plus 3,933, B plus 4,349, O plus 5,085, AB plus 1,747, and RH 22, and total blood inventory natin 15,136. Dinadagdag natin to sa radio program para people will know that in case they need blood, capable ang Red Cross to provide the needed blood. This is all for now, and I want to thank everyone for joining, and for you, this prayer for the nation. Lord, let me be the change I want to see, to do with strength and wisdom all that needs to be done, and become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fears and hesitations. Grant me the courage and humility. Fill me with spirit to face the challenge and start the change I long to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark in faith, service, and communion. Let us start the change we want to see, the change that begins in me. And this is dedicated to the three of you who made it to the moot court to win in the moot court competition. Maraming salamat, and definitely congratulations. Saludo ako sa inyo. Thank you. Go ahead, Edison.
Okay, nais natin pasalamatan ang lahat ng mga naging panauhin natin ngayon sa araw na to, sa hapong ito. Siyempre, ang mga nagwagi ngayon na siyempre ang champion nung nakaraang 2025 IHL Moot Court Competition na yan ay ginanap mismo sa Korte Suprema, ha? Yung finals po nila. At dinaluhan po yan ng ating Chairman and CEO Richard J. Gordon, kasama yan ng ating Secretary General Dr. Gwen Pang, at nina Gob Rodolfo Reyes, at ng iba pa nating Board of Governors at ng mga chapters natin, ha. Marami din mga nag-attend dyan, especially ang Manila chapter. Okay? At nice natin pasalamatan. Second time natin makasama tong si Ma'am Catherine Renee Cutler, at salamat din kay Ma'am Micaela Andrea Geriba at R.V. Joyce Kayabyab. Bagamat di natin nakasama ang kanilang coach na si Dr. Lee Edson Yarcia, ay nagpapasalamat kami sa pagbibigay nyo ng panahon na maging panauhin namin ngayong hapong ito sa Philippine Red Cross, sa Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross dito sa Radyo Pilipinas. At syempre tayo magbabalik, ha, sa susunod na linggo. Nako, ito yung linggo natin bago tayo magpasko, at meron po tayong isang taong magbibigay sa atin, magpapalakas sa atin ng ating spiritual na pananampalataya para sa atin na ano ang tunay na mensahe ng Kapaskuhan. At makakasama natin yan sa susunod na linggo. At syempre ito na po ang ating programang Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross sa Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ngayong 14 ng Disyembre, taong 2025. At susunod na po ang pagbabalita hatid ni Sir Albert Sebastian. At kasunod po yan ang programa ni Vance Pernas, Pulso ng Pilipino. Ito po si Edison Enriquez. 9 na minuto bago mag-alas 4 ng hapon.